orúkọ mi ni Dúpẹ́ Onítìrí Abíọ́lá, ọmọ Onítìrí Èkó, opó olóògbé MKO Abíọ́lá. Mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá káàkiri àgbáyé. Mo kí ọkùnrin, mo kí obìnrin, mo kí ọmọdé, mo kí àgbàlagbà, mo kí arúgbó. Mo fẹ́ kí gbogbo àwa tá a pé ní tòótọ́ àti lódodo a fẹ́ òmìnira Yorùbá ní 2022. Mo fẹ́ ká lọ sign sí 5 million signatures tá a fẹ́ ṣe ti Yorùbá 2022, òmìnira Yorùbá 2022. Mo fẹ́ ká lọ sign sí. Ẹ lọ tí bàbá ṣe àpèjúwe, ẹ lọ sign. Ẹ má sign ní fake o. Èyí tó jẹ́ láti ọ̀dọ̀ tiwa nìkan, tó ní orúkọ Ọlọ́run, tó ní orúkọ èmi Dúpẹ́ Onítìrí Abíọ́lá nú, pẹ̀lú àwọn èèyàn tá a jọ ń ṣe, àwọn pàtàkì tá a jọ ń ṣe, òun ni kẹ́ ẹ lọ ṣe o. Tẹ́ ẹ bá ti rí orúkọ èmi mo Dúpẹ́ Onítìrí Abíọ́lá, Dúpẹ́ Onítìrí Abíọ́lá nínú ẹ̀, ẹ má lọ síbẹ̀. Tí ó bá kí n ṣe site òmìnira Yorùbá 2022, Yorùbá Freedom 2022, ẹ má bá wọn débẹ̀ o. Tẹ́ bá ti lọ síbẹ̀, ẹ ti rí oríṣiríṣi nǹkan tó máa fi jẹ́ kẹ́ mọ̀ pé site òótọ́ ni, kò kí ń ṣe rọ́. Ẹ má lọ sọ́dọ̀ àwọn ẹlẹ́tàn torí àwọn ọ̀tá pọ̀ tí wọ́n fẹ́ kó wá sí ìmúṣẹ. So ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá tẹ́ mọ̀ pé ẹ fẹ́ kó wá sí ìmúṣẹ, ẹ dúró sórí òótọ́, ẹ lọ síbi tó yà ní kẹ́ ẹ lọ sign. Nǹkan tó wà ń bẹ̀ ni pé ẹ fẹ́ béèrè lọ́wọ́ mi pé kí ló dé tẹ́ ṣe máa sign. Ṣé mọ̀ pé mo sọ pé a lè ní dádúró ká ní òmìnira láì jagun, láì tẹ̀jẹ̀ sílẹ̀, láì sí wàhálà. Ẹ̀tọ́ wa ni right to self-determination. Ẹ̀tọ́ wa ni àbá ẹnikẹ́ni jà, àbá Hausa jà, àbá Fúlàní jà, àbá Ìgbò jà, àbá Ògbóni jà, àbá ẹnikẹ́ni jà, àbá Yorùbá ara wa gan jà. Tiwa ṣáà ní pé kí Yorùbá kó ní òmìnira ní 2022 tá a wà náà yìí. Ẹ̀tọ́ wa ni, Ọlọ́run ló ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Ọlọ́run ló dá wa ní ethnic nationality. Ó dá wa ní pẹ̀lú èdè kan, ìwà kan, àṣà kan, origin kan, gbogbo ẹ̀ ló dá wa. Ó dẹ̀ fi wá sí àyè tó wù ú láti fi wá sí, ní àyè tá a wà ní orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá tí àgbáyé mọ̀ sí south western part of Nigeria. Òun ni Yorùbá wà. A lọ bèrè ilẹ̀ ẹnikẹ́ni o, a lọ sọ́dọ̀ ẹnikẹ́ni. Tí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá òun ni. A dẹ̀ fẹ́ kí everybody kó respect the fact that a ní right to self-determination. A fẹ́ kí Ìgbò, Hausa, Fúlàní, Yorùbá, everybody, the entire world, kó respect right wa to self-determination. And our intention ni láti ṣe peacefully, very, very peacefully, without violence. So ní agbára ti Ọlọ́run, ìgbésẹ̀ ilé ó wà nínú ìgbésẹ̀ tá a máa gbé láti ṣe peacefully. Tá a bá ti sign 5 million signatures yìí, à ń sọ fún àgbáyé ni pé à ń fi ohun wa, torí ẹnu èèyàn lèèyàn máa fi ń kọ méje, ẹnu èèyàn náà lèèyàn máa fi ń sọ nǹkan tó fẹ́. So ayé ò mọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀, a fẹ́ sọ fún ayé ni, a fẹ́ sọ fún àgbáyé, lọ́kùnrin, lóbìnrin, lọ́mọdé, lágbà, lárúgbó, káàkiri àgbáyé, kí wọ́n gbọ́, kí wọ́n mọ̀ wípé Yorùbá sọ wípé òmìnira Yorùbá 2022 ó láti wá sí ìmúṣẹ. Tán bá ti gbọ́ ohùn àwa 5 million tá a sign, wọ́n ti rí pé kò kí ń ṣe rọ́, pé a fẹ́ ní tòótọ́ ni. Kò dẹ̀ ń ṣe pé èèyàn kankan fẹ́ fún èèyàn kankan lówó. Ó ń láti wá láti inú wa ni. Ó ń láti jẹ́ nǹkan tá a fẹ́, nǹkan tó wù wá, wípé ní tòótọ́ àti lódodo a fẹ́ òmìnira. So a ń láti ṣe voluntarily, láti inú, láti ọkàn wa. So pé èèyàn kan fẹ́ sanwó fún èèyàn kan àbí èèyàn kan fẹ́ fún èèyàn kan lówó, ìyẹn ò ṣẹlẹ̀ o. A ń láti ṣe láti inú wa ni. So ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe ní kíákíá. Bàbá ṣe wá ṣe kó yára sí, òun náà ni òmìnira yẹn ṣe máa yára sí. Tó ta bá ṣe eléyìí, ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ ìgbésẹ̀ tá máa fi ṣe pé a ṣe referendum ní eléyìí ò kì í ṣe referendum eléyìí ohun ní petition láti fún àgbáyé pé nítòótọ́ àmì nẹ̀ ó dá wa lójú àfọkànsí a ní ìgbàgbọ́ nínú ẹ̀ wípé Yorùbá máa dá dúró so eléyìí ló máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìrìn àjò tá máa fi ṣe referendum tí a máa fi dá dúró táyé máa fi mọ̀ pé yes Yorùbá dá dúró peacefully la máa ṣe and I expect interference from anybody from any government from anybody because òfin àgbáyé sọ wípé right to self-determination kò gbọdọ̀ ṣe interference láti actualize it. So we expect that nobody will interfere. See our right to self-determination. Yoruba nation. Òmìnira Yoruba. Independent Yoruba nation. Sovereign Yoruba nation 2022. Bóde ṣe máa rí nìyẹn ní agbára Ọlọ́run. Kí ló bá wa dé bí báyìí? Gbogbo wa la mọ̀ nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀. Mo ti ṣàlàyé yẹn tẹ́lẹ̀ lórí bí àwọn amúnisìn Great Britain ṣe wá sí entity tó ń pè ní Nigeria. Tó jẹ́ pé ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ló bá everybody Yorùbá ọ̀tọ̀ Biafra ọ̀tọ̀ Ogoni ọ̀tọ̀ Nupe ọ̀tọ̀ Hausa ọ̀tọ̀ everybody ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni but for their own economic interest wọ́n amalgamate everybody without even thinking about the right and the future and the progress and development gbogbo àwa tá wà nínú bẹ̀ so àsìkò ti tó tẹnu wa tá máa fi sọ pé a fẹ́ òmìnira wa kí ló gbé wọn débi resources gbogbo nǹkan tó lọ́n fún wa tó lè dowó tó lè dọ́là láti máa continuously máa jí resources wa wọ́n ní power báwo wọ́n ṣe get power wọ́n lo slavery láti maintain slavery corruption wọlé láti corruption poverty dé poverty underdevelopment láti underdevelopment hopelessness dé in hopelessness yẹn lẹ ti máa rí divide and rule ibẹ̀ lẹ ti máa rí fear ibẹ̀ lẹ ti máa rí suicide ibẹ̀ lẹ ti máa rí oríṣiríṣi nǹkan tó ń pa ẹ̀mí àwọn èèyàn dànù lẹ máa rí àwọn tó ń láwọn ṣe ritual lóríṣiríṣi all sort of things ẹ pé kò yẹ kétí gbọ́ kò yẹ kẹjú rí kò yẹ kẹnu sọ not that hopelessness nìyẹn nǹkan tó wà lẹ́sìn nìyẹn adẹ̀ láti dá dúró torí tá a bá rí yẹn ní èyí báwo lọ́la ṣe fẹ́ rí nítorí náà ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ́pọ̀ kí Yorùbá òmìnira Yorùbá 2022 kó wá sí ìmúṣẹ kí 5 million yìí kó pé kó dẹ̀ tún lé ní kíákíá bá a bá ṣe kó yá sí òun náà ní ìrìn àjò yẹn láṣẹ máa tètè délẹ̀ ní rí sí ní ọdún yìí ní àṣẹ tí Ọlọ́run nítorí náà a ní láti reverse ẹ̀ ká gba agbára tiwa padà which is self-determination tá à ń béèrè fún kí gbogbo àgbáyé kó recognize kó dẹ̀ respect ká self-determination pé Yorùbá nation ó dúró so that we have control of our resources a máa ní agbára lórí resources wa so that a lè dákun àkúrò lóko ẹrú a dẹ̀ lè end poverty corruption hopelessness every evil tí wọ́n ti fi sí orílẹ̀-èdè wa a lè mú kúrò pẹ̀lú àtìlẹ́yìn tí Ọlọ́run pẹ̀lú agbára Ọlọ́run kí gbogbo abiyamọ àgbáyé ẹ jọ̀ọ́ mo bẹ̀ yín ni ẹ bá gba àdúrà sí kó wá sí ìmúṣẹ ní kíákíá ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ God bless you.
kó bẹ̀rẹ̀ fún kọ̀lọ̀kọ̀lọ̀. Rárá kó jọra. Ọmọ Oòduà dìde, ó sì pò ẹ̀tọ́ bàbá rẹ̀. Èmi ọ̀pọ̀ olóko aráyé. Èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè mi. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́. Èmi fòmìnira orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Mi ò pọ̀ olóko aráyé. Èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè yóò. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́. Èmi fòmìnira orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Ìlú tán lọ́rùn fẹ́ lọ lọ́rùn yọ. Èyí tó yàn ló tó ṣe lọ́gọ̀. Bàbá fẹ́ wá, owó tó yọ wá. Wọ́n ṣe wá lọ́gọ̀, ó tún wá fálùmọ́ ní sí. Èmi ọ̀pọ̀ olóko aráyé. Èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè mi. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́. Èmi fòmìnira orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Mi ò pọ̀ olóko aráyé. Èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè yóò. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́. Èmi fòmìnira orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Ọmọ Arúndìdé jọ̀wọ́ má ṣe wòran mọ́. Ìyà ìsọ̀kẹ́ kò pọ̀ jù lórílẹ̀-èdè. Ṣé bí wọ́n ló gbé àwọn ebèrú níjà? Bàbá mi dìde, jọ̀wọ́ jẹ́rìí ara rẹ̀. Èmi ò mọ olóko aráyé. Èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè yóò. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́. Èmi fòmìnira orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Èmi ò mọ olóko aráyé. Èmi ò mọ olóko
Orílẹ̀-èdè mi
ẹ bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ ìtùnú sílẹ̀ Yorùbá yìí.
mo fẹ́ o.
Àní ọmọ aládé jẹun bí irọ́. Ọmọ olówó wáyé ṣàgbé. Ọmọ aláṣọ wáyé wá kísà.
Top dog.
Ọmọ Yorùbá kí la fẹ́ o. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ọmọ Yorùbá kí la fẹ́ o. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ọmọ wọn Nàìjíríà. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ọmọ wọn Nàìjíríà. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Kí ìtọ́ mi sẹ́yìn o. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Èyí tẹ́ pa wá jẹ́ òtítọ́. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ìyà yìí máa pọ̀ lápọ̀jù. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ẹyọ wá jẹ́ tún pa wá. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ebi ń pa wá, ìyà ń jẹ wá. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Àwọn sàbòrò ló ti pa wá tán. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ wa ń ṣe wọ́n Nàìjíríà. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Àwa ò ṣe wọ́n Nàìjíríà mọ́. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Nísìnyí o, Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ẹ pariwo ẹgbọ́n sókè. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ẹ jẹ́ kó dàmọ̀, ẹ jẹ́ kó rí gbọ́. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ sókè nísìnyí o. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ọmọdé ìlú máa ń pariwo. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Àgbààgbà ìlú ti gbóhùn sókè. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Obìnrin ìlú dẹ̀ ń faraya. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Àwa ò ṣe wọ́n Nàìjíríà mọ́. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Èyí tí àjẹ́ wa ó ti so. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Òṣì yìí máa pọ̀ lápọ̀jù. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ẹ̀yàn àjẹ́ tún pa wá. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ebi ń pa wá, ìyà ń jẹ wá. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Àwọn sàbòrò ló ti pa wá tán. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ọmọ wọn Nàìjíríà. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Lórí títí no surrender. Yorùbá nation la fẹ́. Ìlànà ọmọ Oòduà ń pariwo. No more wọn Nàìjíríà. Yorùbá World Congress ń faraya. Break it on the sẹ́yìn o. Yorùbá World Voice dẹ̀ ń pariwo. Yorùbá Nation ní ìsinyìí o. Àgbẹ̀kọ̀yà máa ń faraya. Àwa ò ṣe wọ́n Nàìjíríà mọ́ o. OPC fìgìláńtẹ́. Ẹgbẹ́ Yorùbá lápapọ̀. Gbogbo wọn ti gbóhùn sókè. Yorùbá Nation ní ìsinyìí o. Akíntóyè bàbá ń pariwo. Good night to Nigeria. Yèyé Òṣàtọ́lá ń pariwo. Bye bye to Nigeria. Bàbá Arọ́pọ̀ Ẹ̀kìnbògo. Bàbá kọ́kọ́ ti gbóhùn sókè. Bye bye to Nigeria. Dára top show ń faraya. Àwa ò ṣe wọ́n Nàìjíríà mọ́ o. AYCTC ń pariwo. Yorùbá Nation ní ìsẹ̀yìn o. Olayomi Koiki Media. Àwọn kọ́kọ́ ti gbóhùn sókè. Good night to Nigeria. Bàbá Èkìtì ń polongo. Yorùbá Nation ní ìsìnyí o. Mayegun General ń faraya. No more wọn Nàìjíríà. Ọmọọba Adéjọkẹ́. Màmá kọ́kọ́ ti gbóhùn sókè. Yorùbá Nation ní ìsinyìí o. Ààrẹ Fárúkù ń pariwo. Good night to Nigeria. Olúwa ìlú tó bá ń dán ọmọdé ẹ mọ orúkọ rẹ̀ ò ní parun. orí títí no surrender Yorùbá nation la fẹ́.
Grammarly?
Araba yìí kò máa gbọ́dọ̀ wọ́. Araba ní egbodò wọ́ lọ́wọ́. Araba yìí kò máa gbọ́dọ̀ wọ́. Araba ní egbodò wọ́ lọ́wọ́. Aṣọ yẹn kò máa gbọ́dọ̀ gbé. Araba ní egbodò
very, very low in terms of tenor. And their side was very high. And that could account for it. Again, that tells us that we do not participate. Our kind do not participate. Whichever way we look at it, it's a war. There's a war that is ongoing across the fields. And if we want decisions to be taken for us and be part of the decision-making process, then I think we ought to change the way we look at politics in this. It was a good experience.
Interesting. You know, that's one thing that I've always been. That's why when Starr Radio UK, when we are doing the program, make sure that what is happening here, people know exactly what is happening here, because we live here first. Before we can do anything back home. Okay? So when it gets to things like that, and we don't seem to get ourselves involved in it, I ask myself the question, what are we talking about? Because you get people who are living in council estates who come and complain that this is not done, that is not done, giving all, but when the opportunity is there for you to express that we don't want to get involved.
We don't get involved. And partially because traditionally, or I mean, they think they voted, they've not seen anything. They think they voted. But one thing I've realized that the dynamics are changing. Traditionally, they'll tell you, we voted Labour, we don't get anything. We voted for this party, we don't get anything. But I think the dynamics are changing. At that time, we were voters, we were not participants. Right? How many of those who say we voted, we didn't get anything, or we've not seen any positive? How many of them offered themselves to participate?
None.
So now that people are stepping out, let's get in there and then make sure at least we get involved, we participate.
Get someone representing us.
Our views, you know.
Well, it's not too late. It's not too late. Another election comes up, and we want to encourage everybody to get themselves involved in it. At times, there are this, what do you call it, community patrol teams and stuff like that. Get yourself involved in those things in your area. Do you know that the person next door to you, at times we don't even bother, we don't want to know, but you need to know all the people in your area. So somebody just step in there, then you know that this person doesn't come from the area. What is it about, or something of the sort, and it will help us a great deal. But that is what happened. And once again, to Vicky Newton and all those who contested as well, we say well done for putting your hearts in the ring. Whilst we wait for Mr. Olayomi Koiki to join us, let's quickly look at what is going to happen today in the Houses of Parliament. Interestingly, we've always had the Queen for how many years? More than how many times that she's come to open the House of Parliament? But this time around, she's not been able to do that.
And that's very well. This is the third time. That she's not been able to do that. But the previous occasions, I mean, 1958 and then 1963. Is it 58 or 59? 59. One of them.
Was pregnant.
She was pregnant. I mean, those were greeted with excitement, knowing that she was expecting a baby. Now that she's not come out, I mean, people are not questioning, is it that bad that she cannot walk? And the other thing is, look, if you look at the description they gave to her mobility problem, it's something like someone who now has, or probably might need assistance of a wheelchair. Now, the question then is, if the Queen is in a wheelchair, now that we are told that he's in good health, but the only thing is mobility, how will that not be a good thing for those who are in wheelchair already? So why don't we get her out in wheelchair for us to know that, look, What are you? Even the most powerful
person writes in some pump right one.
Unless it's so bad that, but we need to encourage those in wheelchair. Unless they're looking at it, look, this is an all-powerful lady.
So she
for her to be seen as needing help to even walk
is not on.
Yeah, but I think that's a good sign that we just human.
But apparently in her home, I mean you know they got big estates, so when she wants to walk the dogs, now she use a buggy, the one that the golf players use. That's more car thing, and then this is up to about 60-something thousand pounds. So they could give her some wild what do you call that? The one that they use, the one that
what they call electric. They can see
scooter, a pimped up scooter. She's coming and our queen scooter in her. That was good, man. Okay, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. Mr. Frank Davis for you. We've got Mr. Olayomi Koiki who has joined us. Let's cross over to our North London studios and let's say massive good morning to him. Yomi, good morning.
Well, it is a good morning back to you both in the studio, Frank and Archie, and a very beautiful good morning to our listeners and viewers from across the globe. And we welcome you once again to Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. It is the 10th day of May 2022, and it's just exactly 9 minutes past 11 a.m.
Okay, listeners. That is Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you. How are you doing, sir?
Well, very good. And even though it's been a busy weekend as usual, but it's great to be back again after a day off yesterday. We couldn't join, the broadcast yesterday, but we're back and, just to do what we love to do. And as Frank says, and yourself, if we don't deal with the issues in the diaspora, it's going to be very difficult to even talk about dealing with the issues back in most African countries, and precisely Nigeria as a country.
Well, listen, it's Starr Radio UK. As I said, whilst the updates are going on, we'll be bringing you a sneak view of what is happening in Parliament as well, because we're going to be having, at the moment, I can tell you that Prince William has arrived at the Houses of Parliament, and they are waiting Prince Charles to, they didn't travel together. I'm like, these people, honestly, well, they've thought everything through. But as and when development goes on, we will let you know. But let's go straight to you. Let me say good morning to Anthony Adedeji. Anthony, I hope you are doing very, very well. Thank you very much for joining us once again. Interestingly, let's talk about APC presidential forms that have been bought for Jonathan. Now, this man he has never been an APC member. Okay, he is He is a PDP member. He ran on the ticket of the PDP, became the president, the vice president, and the president. Now, how come some people can just go say, we want to go and buy a ticket? So let's take an example of Ghana. Then somebody just decided to go and buy an MPP presidential this thing for Mahama. Say, we want to put Mahama there. What is all that about?
Just before late evening yesterday, there was an information that filtered out that the Miyetti Allah have literally purchased the 100 million naira, which equivalent to 135,000 pounds, from candidate for the former President Goodluck Jonathan. That trended as fast as across the globe. Remember, a lot of people have been, believing that Jonathan might switch from PDP into APC. So when the news filtered through yesterday, it was something that a lot of Nigerians were probably shocked, but some of his aides were very quiet about it. And in under 2-3 hours, there was another message that Jonathan never gave the consent for anyone to buy an application form to the tune of 100 million, for a party that he has not declared his intention to run under, or neither has he himself come out to say he will be rerunning again. But like I said, that was, the scenario in Nigeria yesterday. And as at this morning, 76,000 tweets so far, as Jonathan is still trending on politics in Nigeria on Twitter this morning.
Well, interesting. I know Frank wants to say something about that.
I disagree with Jonathan. To be honest with you, I'm furious and I'm angry. When I heard the news yesterday, I was so furious. And I was saying, look, personally, I'm going to launch a campaign against Jonathan and politicians, because at the end of the day, politics must be based on principles.
Yeah.
And if Jonathan had confirmed, had gone ahead to accept this, Nigerian youth especially should know that this is like thieves around the table. Today it is my turn. Tomorrow is my turn. Can you stand here so that when you are eating we will not see you? Can you stand here? So it will be like they are distributing the national cake among them, and it will have been bad. But you see, Archie, Jonathan might be coming out now because of the backlash.
Oh, okay.
For all this while, the rumors has been going around that he cannot claim he has not heard it. He cannot claim he has not read it. And the people around him cannot claim that they have no knowledge of it. And I doubt that those who went ahead to buy the phone didn't have any conversation with him. They might have had a conversation with him. He might not have given consent. I'm thinking about it. And therefore they went ahead. From coming straight to tell the people and the public, and at least to give confidence to those who suffered for him in PDP when the rumor started months ago, to say that I am a PDP candidate. I ran on a PDP ticket. I won election with your support. Now that I am out of the government, I will do whatever it takes to help the PDP come back to power. For whom much is given, much is deserved. Are you getting me? Much is expected, and we deserve much from him. So what stopped him from coming out to disassociate himself for all those rumors to a point where a form has been bought, you saw the backlash, now you are not coming out.
To it.
He's not to be trusted, and he's lost a lot of respect that some of us have for him.
Wow. Yomi, the Miyetti Allah, who are they? I mean, how they wield so much power to buy £135,000 worth of, that's how much the form costs.
Miyetti Allah is the Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria. Is a loose partisan and advocate group centered on promoting the welfare of the Fulani pastoralists in Nigeria. The organization was founded in the early 1960s, with their headquarters in Kaduna. And you can see, when that news filter linking the current situation of the Fulani herdsmen attack, and likewise, they are saying that, those attacks has nothing to do with the Fulani, and then for them to have purchased 100 million, they do have that sort of money because it is not just them alone. We've seen, former senator that has contested under a particular local government has now moved to Ogun State, is crying because, these people have given him form. We've seen this current governor of the CBN, the Central Bank of Nigeria, wants to contest INEC to say that INEC cannot take him off as a CBN governor while he's still also, bidding to become the president of Nigeria. So not the 100 million. It's all about, center to those that have already become a very, very, link to so many things. And if I look at, some of the few headlines, when it comes to, the Miyetti Allah, you can tell that there's a lot of issues between those cattle breeders, because there's a lot of issues with the farmers currently in the country. So when the word went out yesterday, like Frank says, the best option would have been for Jonathan to have come out quickly, but he left it a bit longer before he eventually came out to say that has got nothing to do with him.
Interesting. Now, what has been the reaction of the general public, especially the PDP party?
Well, like I said, as we speak right now, the PDP has not literally, said much, but the reaction of so many Nigerians. Let's look at Simon Ekpa, Simon Ekpa. I can confirm that Jonathan have rejected the Fulani Miyetti terrorist presidential form as we demanded on our last live broadcast yesterday. Reno Omokiri was a very close person to Jonathan during the Jonathan government, of the PDP. This is what he has to post some 11 hours ago. Former President Jonathan has nothing to do with the reported purchase of the form. He has an official spokesman as his own staff. He is a man of honor and will not do anything suspiciously. The media and the public should be guided. What more are people saying as well? Sonto Okonko _General Sonto says, Igbo presidency, why do you think Miyetti Allah, the Fulani headsman, bought the APC presidential form for Goodluck Jonathan? Some of you still don't understand the game, the agenda of the Northern Nigeria. They are far ahead of your politicians in the South with their divide and rule tactics. So you can see, maybe it was because of the Miyetti Allah that bought the form. Maybe if it was somebody else, maybe he couldn't have created this kind of energy that is still making it #1 trending on Twitter this morning at 76,000 people have retweeted it.
It's quite an interesting one.
Yeah.
Now, Frank, let me come to you. Now, you're looking at the fact that now these Miyetti Allah people are ones who have been accused of causing a lot of mayhem in that part of the world.
Yeah.
And they think that, okay, this is an Igbo person. So, Jonathan is an Igbo person, right?
Well, just from the between, the Igbo and the Middle Belt, from Bayelsa.
Okay. So somebody from the south, from the south. Okay. So assuming the Miyetti get him in and he wins the election, they are thinking that it's somebody that they can talk to, they can relate to, and then they can unite the country.
Actually, it still doesn't. It still doesn't take away the fact that it is wrong. When he was in power, didn't we have some of these problems? We had some of these problems. It's only that they've gone west.
Yeah.
Are you getting me? Actually, even to the form, yes, they might be looking at someone. Actually, we know what it is. They want to get him in there after 4 years, then another person from the north take over. That's a game plan. That's all they want to do. But actually, look, this is a game that Jonathan cannot claim to be innocent about. One, to sell a presidential form to the person, I cannot just go to APC that I'm going to buy a form. OLAMILEKAN cannot stand up, I am a Nigerian, I am and therefore I'm coming to contest. No. You must first be a member of APC.
Okay.
So on what basis? I have over here a letter from Heritage Bank. That's APC account. And it was addressed to the National Organizing Secretary, All Progressive People Party, in which a letter signed by Azia Adi, who is actually acting on behalf of the bank, informing APC that we write to confirm that our your subject account has been accredited with the sum of 70,000 naira. Being nomination form for Goodland Ibele Jonathan, another one about the other 30,000 naira. So at the end of the day, for APC to even be sending or selling or willing to even sell a form to Jonathan must first be an APC member. So demand must go on Jonathan now to say, when did you join APC? Because a stranger can just not. Actually, can you just go to a Labour Party that is going to take a form?
No, you have
can
to.
You just go to
Conservative and say,
if the people have bought a form for him to contest as an independent candidate, I have no problem with that. But for them to go to APC and APC to agree to sell a form, knowing that it is Jonathan who is, to sign that form, then APC and Jonathan must tell us, when did Jonathan join APC? Because they can't send a form to a stranger.
Yeah, they can't.
That's what I'm saying. Jonathan has something he has to explain to the people. He has to explain.
He has to.
And if you're a PDP member, this is the day you begin to disassociate from Jonathan. Because
he has become so much politician.
Actually, I'm so furious because it tells me that most politicians in Africa are just thinking about themselves and not the people. About themselves and other people and principled people. It is annoying
Wow. Let's go back to Yomi. Yomi, now, why do you think, you posted that there, why do you think the Fulani want good luck back in Aso Rock?
Well, you're quite right. That is the headline. Why we want Jonathan back in Aso Rock, according to the Fulani. Hours after the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, publicly rejected the All Progressive Congress presidential expression of interest and nomination form. The secretary of the Fulani group, Usman Mohammed, has vowed that Jonathan won't leave the country without accepting it. The group, which is an extraction of the nomadic Fulani and the Alemajiri communities, stormed the International Conference Center in Abuja yesterday evening to procure the form. The news of Jonathan purchasing the APC presidential form on Monday got Nigerians pondering if he was truly considering a return to Aso Rock on the platform of the ruling party. Recently, swift to the report, the ex-Bayelsa deputy governor de-associated himself, but the Fulani are saying, according to them, that they would prefer to have Jonathan rather than any other person. We want to state that if the former president wanted to contest an election, he will make his intention. This is the message coming from the spokesman of Jonathan. But hours after Jonathan's statement, de-associating himself from the form, Mohammed told one of the news media back in Nigeria that the nomination form was meant to be a surprise gift to the ECOWAS special envoy. The Fulani group secretary stated that if the ex-president turns down the nomination form, as is threatened, they will be left with no option but to force him to accept it.
Wow! Forced marriage.
That is a serious one. Wow.
Forced marriage.
No. The thing is, what hope do they have in him? I mean, for somebody to go to that extent.
It's a game they want to play. If people can be doing this, it tells you that, look, this is a game which is aimed at the North and South divide. Jonathan strategically can only contest for 4 years. If he wins, I'll only be there for 4 years.
And that's it.
And therefore, this argument of Sadna haven't been there, and therefore it is the term of the Northerner.
So he cannot be there for 2 terms.
So after Buhari, they force him out, and another Northerner comes in.
Yeah.
That's the game plan. Because anyone who comes now will have to go for 8 years, and they cannot wait for those 8 years. So we take control of your campaign, we finance you, you go there as a puppet, and then whatever you're doing it on our account.
Yeah.
And then once we're checking you out, we'll bring it out. That's a game plan, and Jonathan will be a fool to accept it, to be honest with you.
Well, they've made a statement. If he doesn't, they are going to force him. He's not going to get out of the country. So what are they going to do? Are they going to beef up his security? Well, this and a lot more going to be coming your way. It's coming your way from Starr Radio UK. Updates from Nigeria with Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios. Now, Yomi, interestingly, Bola Tinubu is also saying that he is the best person. He says his ambition to become Nigeria's president offers hope, prosperity and unity. So if he's doing that, why didn't the Miyetti Allah people just say, he has got a prospect to give us all that we want, and then maybe buy the forms for him instead?
Well, he was also, bought or given the form by those from the northern, caucus, as you can tell. I mean, when the form was bought, it was bought by those from the north. 100 million, which was what was, the tune of 135,000 pounds. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, presidential aspirant and the national leader of the All Progressive Congress, says his ambition to become Nigerian president offers hope, prosperity, and unity. But a lot of Nigerians are really not sure whether that be delivered for someone that brought in a failed government and someone that brought in the current government that then want to come back and say it will bring the hope. They are no longer using change. They are now using hope, prosperity, and unity. And the question a lot of Nigerians that are asking now is, do we have unity? Do we have progress? Do we have peace? And that takes me to this short video that we're going to play the audio that is coming from the elder of the Igbo that spoke, in just about a few days ago. This is what they have to say, whether there is hope, unity among the Nigerians at all, as countdown to election is just getting closer.
Distinguished members of Igbo elders, None. I welcome you, the media, both print and television. I welcome everybody here. This is not a very happy occasion for us, because most of us have vested interest in one Nigeria. But over the years, the government, especially the present government, seems to be working hard to push us out of Nigeria. And now we hear of a conspiracy to negate constitutional provisions of the parties, especially the PDP, as zoning and rotation in the constitution. We have been zoning and rotating. Now that it is a turn of the Igbo, all kinds of things are being said. We have demonstrated our interest in the country. Anywhere you go, take the indigents out. The next largest number is from Southeast.
So what he's trying to explain there is the PDP, the APC have not literally tell us where they're going to be zoning or they're not going to be zoning. But the question there in the lips of so many Nigerians is, can the leader or the national leader of the APC be given the ticket? And now the Senate president have also brought the form under the APC.
Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. Now, it's quite a worrying story there, and a statement that this individual who made that statement.
These are the leaders of the the Igbo Forum that spoke some few days ago, and the question is whether there is still going to be hope for the Igbo to be part of Nigeria should this presidency doesn't come to Southeast.
I disagree with those. Again, Archie, we're looking at where we want to put tribal issues ahead of what you call it, politics.
Yeah.
And in my view, look, if it comes to Southeast or Northeast or whatever, I mean, it's not an issue. But I do not want people, I don't want to see people rallying around a candidate primarily because he's an Igbo, he's an Yoruba, he's this, he's whatever. No. I do not want to see the people. Look, if it comes to Southeast, but that should not be the primary objective. That should not be the primary decider. That, okay, because this person comes from our descent, even if he's a dog, he's capable, he's a thief, he's a criminal, we must vote for him. No, I do not accept that. It doesn't happen. That is what we've done for all these years in our parts. It is the same thing that the Northerners are doing. All these people who are buying funds from people trying to steer you to the north. I mean, the person we have today comes from the north. Are they not killing, slaughtering the Northerners like cows? Are they not? Don't we see daily deaths that are occurring? People are dying in the north more than the south. People are dying in the north from the bandits more than the south. So what are we talking about? That the person must come from the north or must come from this place? The question doesn't answer the problem at all. Because look, at the end of the day, whether he comes from the north, he comes from the south, there will be problem. Our focus must be, how is this person going to solve the problem, the unemployment problem, the insecurity problem, the joblessness problem, what do you call it? Now we see people on strike, they can't go to school. A lot of problems, fuel shortage, energy crisis. What are you going to do different? Show us your blueprint. Those are the questions. But don't come and address the press conference telling us about drumming home the tribal sentiments more, thinking that we should rally around. Okay, let's assume, let's independent candidate go. Let the Northerners have a candidate. Let the Southerners have a candidate. Let's every pocket have a candidate. And let's see if we can have a united, what do you call Nigeria? I mean, you can come from Southeast. I don't have a problem, but don't make it a point. Don't make it your primary objective. No.
Okay, listen, let's start ready. Mr. Frank, this is for you. Yomi. Now, if it happens that maybe they want to cede it to the Southeast, now who there do you think now is ready to be like Frank is saying, has got everything that it takes? Not because they come from Southeast, like you're going to go and pick anybody from that. Who is there that you think that, this is one person that if he's fielded, he's got everything that it takes to be the leader of the country?
Well, Peter Obi is already vying for the same post. He was a one-time governor of Anambra State, and also we have Kingsley Moghalu that have also contested in the past. I was literally, on the Kingsley Moghalu Twitter handle yesterday, and we do also have, the former governor, the commissioner for happiness, Okorocha is also vying for that same position as well. So we do have, quite a numbers of people. We have Ingige. We have quite a lot of numbers of people, that is also vying for the post. And yesterday when I was actually again looking at, Kingsley Moghalu, it was talking about, it's only in Nigeria that you see, so many sirens that are moving around with, VIPs, which is against of, those outside the country. When you hear the sound of the siren, they're actually going for an emergency. But the question then, like Frank was saying, yes, it's easy, to say that, but, it has always been a rotational basis, when you look at, the way it has been structured under the, the current, Nigeria, system that, election has to be rotated, but now that it is meant to be rotated to the Southeast, there's all kind of, information that is, different. And their argument is, in the North, what we called, a lot of the students, as an example, we go through a university or polytechnic if you're from the northern part with a lower score. But those in the Southeast and the Southwest must go with a higher score. When it comes to, the offices as well, the North do get advantage. And all these is part of what a lot of people are looking at. I was actually looking at, how the police force in Nigeria are employed when it comes to, the data statistics. Shortlist candidate for the police recruitment, according to CBT across Nigeria in April 2022. From the Northwest, we have 11,716. From the Northeast, we have 17,888. From the Southeast, we have 1,569. From the North Central, we have 12,634. From the Southwest, we have 5,304. And from the South, there's 6,000. And the question is Nigeria really working? And that is the challenge that a lot of people have said, that the 1999 Constitution, which is the military diktat, is part of the reason also that things have been dragged back for the last 22 years of the democracy since it returned back in 1999.
Okay, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. You know what? We're going to take a quick break because Prince Charles is going to deliver the Queen's speech, and then we'll come back to Mr. Olayomi Koiki to bring you the rest of the update there. So I'll just take a quick break, and wherever you are, so that you don't miss anything on it. Let me cross over straight to the Houses of Parliament.
the COVID backlogs. In these challenging times, Her Majesty's government will play a leading role in defending democracy and freedom across the world, including continuing to support the people of Ukraine. Her Majesty's government will drive economic growth to improve living standards and fund sustainable investment in public services. This will be underpinned by a responsible approach to the public finances, reducing debt while reforming and cutting taxes. Her Majesty's ministers will support the Bank of England to return inflation to its target. A bill will be brought forward to drive local growth, empowering local leaders to regenerate their areas and ensuring everyone can share in the United Kingdom's success. The planning system will be reformed to give residents safe, cleaner services and enabling more innovations. Legislation will be introduced to modernize rail services and improve reliability for passengers. Her Majesty's ministers will bring forward an energy bill to deliver the transition to cheaper, cleaner, and more secure energy. This will build on the success of the COP26 summit in Glasgow last year. Draft legislation to promote competition, strengthen consumer rights, and protect households and businesses will be published. Measures will also be published to create new competition rule markets and the largest digital firms. Her Majesty's government will establish the UK Infrastructure Bank in legislation, with objectives to support economic growth and the delivery of net zero. Reforms to education will help every child fulfill their potential wherever they live, raising standards and improving the quality of schools and higher education. Her Majesty's ministers will publish draft legislation to reform the Mental Health Act. Her Majesty's government will continue to seize the opportunities of the United Kingdom's departure from the European Union to support economic growth. Regulations on businesses will be repealed and reformed. A bill will enable law inherited from the European Union to be more easily amended. Public sector procurement will be simplified to provide new opportunities for small businesses. New legislation will strengthen the United Kingdom's financial services industry, ensuring that it continues to act in the interest of all people and communities. The United Kingdom's data protection regime will be reformed. Her Majesty's government will continue to champion international trade, delivering jobs across the country and growing the economy. Legislation will be introduced to enable the implementation of the United Kingdom's first new free trade agreements since leaving the European Union. Her Majesty's ministers will encourage agricultural and scientific innovation at home. Legislation will unlock the potential of new technologies to promote sustainable and efficient farming and food production. Her Majesty's government will protect the integrity of the United Kingdom's borders and ensure the safety of its people. Her Majesty's ministers will take action to prevent dangerous and illegal channel crossings and tackle the criminal gangs who profit from facilitating them. Legislation will be introduced to ensure the police have the powers to make the streets safer. A bill will be brought forward to further strengthen powers to tackle illicit finance, reduce economic crime, and help businesses grow. Measures will be introduced to support the security services and help them protect the United Kingdom. Her Majesty's government will lead the way in championing security around the world. It will continue to invest in Her Majesty's gallant armed forces. Her Majesty's ministers will work closely with international partners to maintain a united NATO and address the most pressing global security challenges. The continued success and integrity of the whole of the United Kingdom is of paramount importance to Her Majesty's government, including the internal economic bonds between all of its parts. Her Majesty's government will prioritise support for the Belfast Good Friday Agreement and its institutions, including through legislation to address the legacy of the past. Her Majesty's government will ensure the Constitution is defended. Her Majesty's ministers will restore the balance of power between the legislature and the courts by introducing a Bill of Rights. Legislation will prevent public bodies engaging in boycotts that undermine community cohesion. Her Majesty's government will introduce legislation to improve the regulation of social housing, to strengthen the rights of tenants, and ensure better quality, safer homes. Legislation will also be introduced to ban conversion therapy. Proposals will be published to establish an independent regulator of English football. In this year of the Platinum Jubilee, Her Majesty looks forward to the celebrations taking place across the United Kingdom and throughout the Commonwealth, and to the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham this summer. Members of the House of Commons, estimates for the public services will be laid before you. My Lords and members of the House of Commons, other measures will be laid before you. Her Majesty prays that the blessing of Almighty God may rest upon your councils.
So the Prince of Wales has returned the speech.
Okay, so that is the end of the Queen's speech that has just come your way. Myself and Mr. Frank Davis will be having a look at some of the pertinent points that were touched on, and then we will go on from there. But at the moment, Prince Charles, the Prince of Wales, and the wife Camilla and Prince William are leaving the chamber. Okay, so let me come back straight to the studio, and we want to apologize for the should I say interruption? No, because we told you that we are going to do that. But for Yomi, he had to leave us because of another appointment that he's got at the moment. But for now, let's just go straight to some of the points that Prince Charles did touch on. With me in the studio, as you know, is Mr. Frank Davis, Archie. Frank, interesting. I know that you were concentrating on listening to what Prince Charles was reading pertaining to what the Queen statement was.
Yeah.
Now, what were some of the catch points that you touched, you picked on?
A lot. A lot is happening in this parliament, and rightly so, because this is a time they have the majority in parliament. So if there's any other, if there's a good opportunity to stamp your authority as a conservative party and as a government of a conservative ideological leaning on the country, this is opportunity, because the next general election you might not have this opportunity again. Actually, a few things. One reform that is coming to the housing sector, we're going to be seeing more Margaret Thatcher kind of thing, and that we heard about this a little bit ago, but
I have to go now. I'll be back later on anytime throughout today, but for now I have to go. Thank you so much. Those of you on Koiki Media Facebook, we really apologize. I'm not sure why we're having problem with that broadcast, but I hope we can resolve it later. Have a very good afternoon. Bye for now.